Hello everybody and welcome back. And last time the party did a bit of a crawl through this part of the jungle. They did get lost a couple of times, but luckily they did find themselves back on track. They thought they were following this path here, and they just happened to be one hex eastward of it, 6 miles east of their intended path. That isn't too bad. When it comes to the DM handling getting lost, you roll for the odds of getting lost, and then it is up to the DM's discretion as to how to handle getting lost. So I think there are 3 ways you can do it. One is that the DM picks a direction, and the other way is that the DM rolls for a direction. I think there are 2 ways you can do this. You can either roll for a random direction in 6 ways, which means the party could in effect double back upon themselves. You would have to ask yourself, is that likely? I mean, can they see their footprints from the day before, where they came from? Or else you could handle it that they intend to go in their direction of travel, regardless of whether that is north, south, east or west. And then you could roll for whether they veer off accidentally to the left or to the right, which would be in relation to their intended direction. I think I'm going to use the second method. So the party do want to go northeast. There is a chance they could veer northwest or due east. So let's see what happens. This is not what I wanted. They walk off due east. I was hoping they would hit this trail, but alas, they don't. So here they are. That is 6 of their 9 miles per day. If there is an encounter, I would use the fight and the rest up afterwards to account for the missing 3 miles. Do they have an encounter during the day? And they do. I have rolled this one up, and I will take the advice of Hermie Monster, who did comment on rolling for distance, and other commentators who did suggest ways of modifying that for thick terrain. So my compromise is this. I will roll for the encounter distance, and the further away the encounter, the better the reaction roll will be. So I have to roll 46. And that is 12. That's 150 yards away. So I'm going to say the party don't hear this in the middle of a jungle, but let's roll for the reaction of the monster and add 1 onto the dice rolls. That becomes a 9, which is possibly friendly. Roll again. And that's an 11, which is friendly. So in other words, these 3 rock pythons just slither off into the jungle, and neither party, them or us, are any the wiser. So we can walk a half hex in the wrong direction, and we come out of the jungle into low hills, and this kind of gives us a bearing of where we might be if we climb the hills. Glad to get out of the jungle. Let's see if there's a nighttime encounter for us to bed down with. And there isn't. Right, so that is day 6 over. The party will wake up on day 7. I think, given the fact that they are in hills, they're going to realise the sun rises in the east and they can see it. So they will have realised their mistake and they will head northwest, which means they will either end up in one of these 2 hexes here, or else they will cut across directly and hit this trail. Let's see. They move in the correct direction and eventually they hit a trail. Let's roll for wandering monsters again. And that is some. Let's roll for the encounter distance. And that's another decent distance of 150 yards. Maybe the party hears something moving through the jungle, but there are so many animals and so many of them are innocent, like fruit bats, or flying squirrels or monkeys. Let's do its reaction roll anyway. And that's a 10, possibly friendly. And that's an 8, yes. So again, this second group of monsters just slithers away without either them or us knowing where we are. Right, we've hit a trail. It's not a very big trail. It has clearly just been formed by animals passing through. But it either goes westward or northeast, and we are looking for the northeast. So that is where we're going to head after we bed down for the night, just off this trail. But does anything come along it at night time? No, nothing does. On day 8, the party wake up and move along this trail northwest, and they come across a temple. Well, they come across a clearing, and in the middle of this clearing is a stepped temple, just what they've been looking for. And by the fact that most of it, or most of the clearing around it, is covered in jungle, it looks like this has been empty for some time. Right, let's set this up. This is what the temple looks like. And what's this? Oh, this is a small adventure by me. Right, this is a dungeon that I rolled up myself, quite literally on the back of a gas bill. Right, I followed the instructions in the Dungeon Master's book, which we looked at briefly a couple of sessions ago. I rolled the treasure type for my chosen monster, and it was extremely good. It was ridiculously good, so much so that I had to rethink everything. In other words, if the treasure was going to be that good, I would have to increase the difficulty of the dungeon to warrant the treasure. So even though I followed the rules for setting up the dungeon, including all the empty rooms where you roll for random events, I did add a lot more enemies. All of that will become apparent when we play through it, and afterwards I can do a post-mortem as to what I did to create the little dungeon. So I made this little module thing, so you get 3 pages of info and a map page here. And if you use the booklet format in Adobe Reader and you have access to A3 paper, you can make a folded version of it. And there are even dotted lines to help you to trim it so it becomes more like the format of the actual modules. So let's do this little temple. A pyramid 120 feet across, formed of 4 large steps, each 20 feet high, stands in the middle of a courtyard. It is topped with a small pillared temple. A wide flight of stairs runs up the westward face of the pyramid. Set into the southern side is a small deep-set doorway. This place looks abandoned. The perimeter wall of the courtyard has crumbled, leaving gaps, but the jungle has encroached and has taken over the wall, blocking any holes. The paved surface is being prized up by strong woody plants. 2 half-crumbled gatehouses stand either side of the main gap in the wall. They stand 20 feet in front of the structure. This is what has been described, and the party are coming from the southwest. From the DM notes, each gatehouse is 20 feet square. They have a narrow doorway. Each houses 3 troglodytes. If the party approach from the south, then all 6 will attack at once. If the party approach from either the east or the west, we're approaching from the west, then the 3 nearest ones will attack and the other 3 will join in round number 2. However, there can be a surprise round. If the troglodytes gain surprise, they might come out, and if there is a favourable reaction roll, they might warn us off. So the first thing to do is to roll for surprise. There is no surprise, so we approach this temple that we think is abandoned, and 3 troglodytes come out of this gatehouse. Let's roll for their reaction. 7. Uncertain. Roll again. There's a bit of a standoff. 11, that's friendly. So in other words, they will point their spears at us and grunt, telling us to back off. That is not going to happen. We want to get into this temple. So we move forward. They move forward. Let's do round number 1. They get initiative. Okay, this is a melee round. We've met in melee distance. There is one each on Donard and Carrick, and the third one goes for Carrick. They always seem to go for him. Oh, pick on the small one, says the dwarf. We have seen troglodytes before, but just as a reminder, if you are in melee range with them, they get a nauseating attack which can reduce your hit rolls by 2. Let's do the 2 attacks on Carrick. They have 2 claw attacks and a bite, and it's the 1d4 dice. Right, one of those hits him for 3 points. He's down to 28. The third one misses him. He has another one on him. They both miss. There is one on Donard. Its 2 claw attacks miss. And its bite misses. Right, off we go. Intentions are, well, everybody on the back line is going to shoot them. Malin is not going to participate, so we do missiles first. Let's do Sylvia, who hits and does 9 damage. One of them is down to 1 HP. Ooh. They have an AC of 5 and there is a short range bonus. Liz hits and takes another one to 3 HP. Maridin, that's an 8. He misses just. Melee, remember we have a save versus poison. Donard is the orange dice. And Carrick fails his saving throw. He has a -2 THAC0 penalty due to nausea. So I shall do Donard's roll. And he hits, and he kills one of the damaged ones. I shall do Carrick's roll. And yeah, he doesn't like being nauseated. He fumbles badly. So that was round number 1. Round number 2 is good enough for the second lot to close distance from the second gatehouse. So let's roll for initiative. We get initiative. So there are 5 troglodytes, 1 is badly damaged and 4 aren't. So it's missiles. Intentions, same as before, 3 missile attacks and 2 melee attacks. No movement. Sylvia, wow, that little pep talk the party had last week, maybe she wasn't asleep, maybe she heard them talking about her, and well, she feels quite pleased. 13, she easily hits armor class 5, and with a bit of overkill, shoots 1 in the head. By the way, I am keeping track of arrows. Liz shoots a tree. Maridin, well, that's a 12, that hits AC 5, and he does 6 damage. One of the ones on Carrick is down to 4 HP. Melee again. It doesn't say in the rules whether the nausea lasts for the whole combat or whether you have to roll every turn to save from it. I'm going to just assume that if you're nauseous for the whole combat. Donard, not nauseated, but he still misses. Carrick, that's a 5, it's AC 6. They have AC 5, that's a miss, thanks to the nausea. Right, there go. There's 4 left. That's an easy 2 on each. Right, and they have 3 attacks each. I'll do the 2 claw attacks on Carrick. They both miss. I'll do the 2 claw attacks from his second opponent. They have a Thaco of 18. That hits him for 3 points again. He's at 25. And I shall do both of their bite attacks together. They both miss. I'll do the same for Donard. One lashes out with 2 claws and misses. The other one claws him and hits -1. His AC is -2. They need a 20 to hit him. Can they bite him? Nope, right. So that was round number 2. Round number 3. Let's roll for initiative. We get initiative. Same as last time, no difference. Missiles. Sylvia. Well, that's an 11, which is good enough to hit, and that kills one of the ones on Carrick. Liz fumbles badly. I'm going to roll a 50% chance to see if she did any damage on Donard. 50 or less, and she does 3 damage. Yep, so she hits Donard in the back of the helmet. Right. Remember, there are no fumble rules in this game. I've just invented that to make archery a bit less overpowered. Maradin. He hits and does 7 damage. One of the ones on Carrick is down to 7. Melee, Donard in full health. Hits well and does 9 damage. One is on him at 1 HP. Carrick, the one on him is at 7. Still sickly and nauseated. He's missed twice. I hate these brutes. I feel my breakfast coming up. Well, not any longer. However, he doesn't do the best damage. It's down to 2 HP. I think I will roll a morale check for them. They don't have a very good morale. But it holds up well, so it's their go. Right, there is one on Carrick. Both miss. Does it bite him though? Nope, there are 2 on Donard. That's 4 claw attacks. Nope. Nope. And 2 bite attacks. Nope. So round number 4. They get initiative. They just have a melee attack, so we're going to do all that again. That's Carrick, untouched. Donard. No matter how hard they lash out at his armour, they don't break through. Can they get a bite on his neck though? Nope, they can't, but a valiant try. Our go. Sylvia's gonna try and help her dwarven friend. Right, that's 8 for short range. No, that just misses. Liz is gonna try and help out Donard. We wonder why. Yep, that's good enough to kill one on him. Maradin is gonna shoot another one that's on Donard because he had 2 on him. Yes, and that one is down to 2 hit points. So far we've used up 12 arrows in this fight. Melee, 2 troglodytes left. They only have 2 hit points each. Donard. Yep, kills the one on him. Carrick. Is that an 18? That's an 18, not a 2. Okay, and just creeps in and just nicks the one that's on him, but it's enough to kill it. So that's 6 dead troglodytes. Because they were in a gatehouse, ready to fight, we've got a feeling this place will be crawling with troglodytes. Let's see how it goes when the party enter into the courtyard. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to move the Terentius back to Pirate Island, because what I should have said several sessions ago is that the party expect to spend 2 weeks here, then the Terentius will come back and collect them. If the party are early, then they have to wait on the shore. If the party are late, then the Terentius has to wait for them. So when we last left the party, they had just killed 6 troglodytes outside these gatehouses, and they're going to go in towards the temple. And this is the little DM guide for the map. And what does E3 read? By the pyramid, depending on the time of day, 4 troglodytes will be sunning themselves on the steps. In the morning, they will be to the east side. In the evening, they will be to the west side. They will be caught off guard. They get no surprise, but the party might surprise them on a roll of 1 or 2. I'm going to say it's the evening, and these troglodytes are here, lazing themselves away. So do we get surprise on them? What we have to do is, firstly, we can sort of see them up there. That means we have to walk around the temple and up the steps and over to here. We don't get surprise on them. So let's just roll for initiative, and there are 4 of them. We get initiative. Our intentions are, as standard, Donard and Carrick on melee, and then Liz, Sylvia and Maridin on archery. Malin is saving his spells in case things get tough. Movement, Donard and Carrick close ranks. Missiles, Liz. She hits AC 5 and does 3 damage. The one she is on is down to 7. Sylvia misses. Right. Does she hit Carrick in the back of the head? She does. Right. And per Carrick takes 3 points. And Maridin, with the short range bonus, he hits armor class 4, which is good enough, and he does 5 damage. Right, melee have closed ranks, and that applies for both sides for the troglodytes, who have to rise from sunning themselves. So it's round number 2. They get initiative. There is no movement because we are in range, and each of them gets 3 attacks, and there's 4 of them. So I will do 2 that are on Donard, and they need a 20 to hit him. They have a Thaco of 18, and his armor class is -2. Both of those miss. The other one has claw attacks. Both of them miss, and they both have 2 bites. And he gets hit for a point. He's down to 47. And the same thing happens to Carrick. That misses. They need a 19 to hit him. And they're 2 bite attacks. And they both miss. Right. So let's do our missiles again. Liz hits the one that she's on, and it's down to 3. Sylvia, she hits and takes 1 to 4 hit points. Maridin hits well and kills the one that was on Donard. Our melee go. First we have to roll for nausea, and Donard is the orange, Carrick is the green. Can they make a save versus poison? Right, let's check Donard's stats. Carrick fails again. Yes, and Donard succeeds with his saving throw, so Carrick has the 2 Thaco penalty. I shall do Donard first. He hits well and takes 1 from 10 to 3. I'll do Carrick, who hits amazingly. Right, he's rather fed up being made to feel sick. You know, I would like to keep my breakfast down. Right, and he wipes out one of the ones on him, so they're 2 dead. It's round number 3. They get initiative again. Intentions are as before. There is no movement. Missile. There are only 2 left. They both have 3 hit points. And Liz dispatches with a short range bonus. She just hits that one and dispatches him through the eye. Sylvia. Yes. Shoots the one that's on Donard, and there are 4 dead troglodytes. Okay, I think the party will go up and look at this little temple. They're told this is a small roofed structure that is supported by 4 pillars. There's a solid block of stone in its centre. Grooves have been cut into the stone. Your only clue as to their purpose are the black stains of ancient dried blood that encrusts the grooves and spills off their ends. There is nothing more here. So there's nothing else for the party to do but go into the temple. I think actually Carrick is down by 9 hit points, so we will use the Staff of Healing on him to see if he can recover. Oh, and he gets 4 back. He's back up to 26. And I will mark that off. Okay. So the party enter through here into the temple, and let's read a bit. The DM notes, if anyone takes time to examine the entrance, they will see the path up to it is well worn and not overgrown with plants, which is a clue that the temple is used. The door is frequently used and opens easily. The walls are 20 feet thick and deeply carved with complex designs, some figurative, some geometric. A large broken stone table lies in the middle of the room. It is flanked by the remains of 2 statues. The, quote, legs of the statues are 3 tentacles. The top half of the statues have been smashed into a jigsaw of broken lumps. Behind the stone table, a flight of stairs leads downward into darkness. The room is lit with burning torches. Their acrid smell and thick smoke reeks of old animal fat. 4 troglodyte brutes are guarding the top of the stairs. They attack on sight with a frenzied cry. Right, a troglodyte brute is an upgraded version of a troglodyte. It has 4 hit dice instead of 2, slightly better Thaco, and instead of doing 1d4 damage, it does 1d6. Right, and I will leave it there for today, and next time, hopefully the party will get to clear out this small temple here. Okay, and I will see you then.